Hey, customers, welcome back to another episode of Frankie's Fast Five, where we cover all the news and reviews just for yous. This week, we're covering March 25th to March 31st. Marvel's Secret Invasion finally has a release date. It's going to be coming out June 21st to Disney Plus. Thought this was a little surprising since Loki was going to be coming out in June originally, at least it seemed like it. But looking forward to seeing Samuel L. Jackson, Olivia Colman, and Amelia Clark. Another Marvel news, we have Jonathan Majors, better known as Kang in the MCU, and for his role in Creed 3 as Damien, was arrested this week on suspected domestic violence charges. Don't want to really get into it too much at this time, since there has been conflicting reports. It's going to be really interesting to see how Marvel and Disney handle this, since they had written all of Phase 5 was going to be about him as Kang. Marvel controlled the headlines this week for sure. They also fired Ike Perlmutter this week, which is the second Marvel executive that they fired in the last 2 weeks. Don't really see this one having too much of effect on the MCU, as Kevin Feige had already hated working with this guy and was going directly to Disney executives instead. In other comic news, we have set photos of Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Joker 2 is going to be kind of an interesting movie. Apparently, it's going to be a musical. That's why you get Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. I'm sure she's going to do a great job, though. Netflix announced an animated Scott Pilgrim show. Got the same cast from Edgar Wright's 2010 movie. Definitely looking forward to this. The comics have a lot to work with. It's going to be quite fun. For trailers this week, Wes Anderson's next project, Asteroid City, had a trailer come out. It's going to have a great cast, as usual, like all his films do. Personally, I'm not a big fan of his work, but I know I am in the minority when it comes to this opinion. A new Amazon show titled Citadel is being released on April 28th. The show will be starring Richard Madden of Game of Thrones fame and Priyanka Chopra Jonas. Looks like your standard spy fare. I'll be checking out when it comes out to Amazon. Love and Death, a new HBO miniseries starring Elizabeth Olsen and Jesse Plemons, is coming soon. Trailer looks intriguing, and most HBO miniseries are fantastic. So we'll see what else this series has in store for us and these families in a small Texas town. The HBO show I'm really looking forward to, Barry, is finally having their last season. They came out with a trailer this week. Bill Hader and Henry Winkler have killed it in every season that they've done of this show. It's going to be sad to see it go, but it's been great so far. For Ted Lasso, episode 3 was a definite dope. We got to see how Zava joining the team had quite an effect on all the rest of the players. We also get to see Jamie Tart and Roy Kent start to be friends. Roy Kent is evolving to be this mentor for Jamie, even though they absolutely hated each other in the first season. It's a lot of fun to see. Mandalorian episode 5 had a really good amount of action this week. We got to see why those pirates were involved in the first season as they came back and attacked Navarro again. Uh, we had Carl Weathers' character contact Mando and his crew, and they came and fought against the pirates. Navarro gave them their own land now, so they got to get away from that awful beachfront property. The big twist of the week was we got to see what happened to Moff Gideon, as we've been hearing so far throughout the season that he did not make it to his trial. We got to see his ship was attacked, and he's gone, of course. There's also Beskar steel that was found on this ship. So they're either blaming it on the Mandalorians or he actually got captured by Mandalorians. Uh, Episode was a definite dope, though. Can't wait to see more of this. In other news, Netflix dropped Murder Mystery 2 starring Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler. And I remember the first one being quite fun and a good time, but this is a definite nope for me. I don't think anybody would have said this about 10 years ago about Adam Sandler, but maybe it's about time you just stick to your dramatic roles, bud, because you're killing it in Uncut Gems, and Hustle was great, but comedy's just not working for you anymore. The big theater release this week is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. As a D&D fan, I was really looking forward to this movie. I think they did a great job building a D&D type world. You got to see a lot of the different races that you don't really see in a lot of other fantasy shows. We got to see the Aarakocra, which is like these giant bird people, the Tabaxi, which are like cat people. I'm sure there are more Easter eggs to be found for much hardcore fans of Dungeons and Dragons than I am. The cast was fantastic. I just think there was something missing in the writing. I'm having a hard time of articulating what that point is, but there's just something missing. Just a little bit of heart missing from this movie. So I got to give it an I vote, maybe leaning towards a little bit of a dope if you're a bigger Dungeons and Dragons fan than I am. Tetris, the new Apple TV movie starring Taron Egerton, based on the true story of getting the rights of Tetris out of the USSR, dropped. Kind of have give me Big Short vibes if anybody's familiar with that movie. It is great though. If you're looking for a movie to watch this weekend, definitely check this out on Apple TV. And then, as usual, customers, thank you for stopping by the cinema store for another episode of Frankie's Fast Five. We'll see you next week where we'll be covering April 1st through the 7th.